Welcome to Doctrine and Devotion. Especially you, Seth.
And Alyssa.
That's right. We know you're listening.
Oh, yes. All the way in foggy London. Well, they're kind of northeast of London, but more east of London.
It's kind of stereotypical, dude.
Why?
Foggy London.
Foggy London.
Sometimes it's sunny.
Oh, God.
A couple
Never
times
when
a year.
I'm there.
A couple times a year it's
I was
sunny.
say never when I'm there.
Man, Seth and Alyssa, we love you guys. We miss you guys. We heard that you're listening.
And Alyssa's having a baby soon.
Oh, man. Alyssa, I hope that baby looks like you.
Yeah, and
Seth,
not like Seth. Sorry,
it's going to
Seth.
be one broke-looking baby if it looks like Seth. No offense, Seth, but your wife is pretty and you are not. So just pray right now that God is forming that child to look like her
Alyssa.
mother. Yeah, you don't want her looking like you. This is a podcast where we explore Christian faith and practice.
And make fun of past members and their spouses.
Hey, that's because we love them.
Yeah. Yep.
We only make fun of people we really like.
Yeah, that's true.
For the most part.
For the most part. We make fun of Jared Wilson.
Jared Wilson, though,
Yeah,
he's not on my
yeah, he's not on my list of love.
We explore
Love
Reformed.
list.
What do we explore? Christian faith and practice from a Reformed Baptist perspective. My
And
name
who
is.
are you?
I'm Joe Thorne.
Joe Thorne. How do you spell that?
With a silent P.
Oh, is that how he did?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm Jimmy Fowler, elder candidate at Redeemer Fellowship.
I'm the lead pastor here.
Will I be? Will
At
I
this
still
point,
be?
yeah, you're still going to be a
I'm
candidate
still-
when this
okay,
drops. Yeah,
fine.
but Jimmy's got all of his work done.
All done.
Everything's done.
Everything's
now
done.
You're just waiting for the scrutinizing eyes of the elders
Sauron.
to pour over your poorly worded and insufficiently cited paperwork.
And so by the scrutiny, you mean I'm waiting for Pastor Brian to get done through my paper.
Because Jeff will high five you.
Jeff
no matter
already
what.
did.
Yeah.
Pastor Jeff, that's why I love you, Jeff.
Pat can't read, so he's
Yeah.
not gonna.
Yeah, that's
he's
why
not
I
gonna-
love you too.
Rob's not in the game because
No,
he's the
he's out.
candidate.
Yeah, and-
so it comes down.
and
to
you
me.
wrote my paper, so you know
pretty
it's
much.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. That's how we do it. How you doing, man?
I'm doing really good.
It's a good day.
Hey,
Got a lot done?
I got a lot done. Yeah.
You've been working, man.
I'm always working.
Man, Jimmy, I was waiting for Jimmy's doing business deals on the phone, talking to people, having to apologize and stuff. I know we can't get into that.
I wasn't even apologizing for me.
Not for real. Yeah,
No.
yeah. It was more of the right thing to do.
It was more the right thing to do to keep the conversation going.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what happens.
I like listening to you do your business.
Do you
It's
really?
cool. I do. Yeah,
Why?
it's fun.
What is this?
Because I'm not in that world. I'm not in
No,
that business world.
no, you could not handle that world.
No, I could handle that world.
No,
I run that world.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Get out of here, man! I'll tell them what's up.
Joe, you want to offer free shipping on everything. You want to cut our cost.
No, not if I'm running the business. Not if I'm running the business.
You're so
free
horrible.
shipping. Free shipping if you buy 5 shirts. That's what I would say. See how?
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see? See, I know how to
Well, no,
business.
we should do like free shipping over $50 or something like that. You know what I mean? Like something like that. Okay, never mind. We're not talking about. We're not doing that now.
How much is shipping? $50?
No, free shipping for orders over 50. So you buy that'd be 2 or 3, like 2 shirts and a journal. You know.
Okay. Hey, speaking of our store,
JoeFoStore.com.
we got some good T-shirts.
Got great T-shirts.
Man, we got some. Oh man, and the new 2018 T-shirt is going to be unveiled at the conference.
Yes.
Speaking of that conference, man, we hope you guys will go to doctrineanddevotion.com and find our conference for 2018. Doug Logan is the main speaker.
I am pumped.
He's going to make up for Jimmy and I preaching the rest of the times.
Oh, yes.
And it's going to be on pneumatology. It's going to be, honestly, it's going to be the best conference of the year.
The
It
best
is.
conference
It's
of the
gonna
year.
be the best. Legionnaire, nothing.
Nothing.
T4G?
No.
Nothing. No.
And we can't talk anymore about Piper worship. We got a message about that, so I can't talk.
Did we get to talk about Piper worship?
Kinda. Someone
Really?
was saying that, a little too harsh on the pipes.
Nah. What are you talking about? People worship. I'm not blaming pipes for that.
I know.
No,
They're saying we should be a bit more respectful. And the person
Of
was
the idolaters out there?
No, of Piper himself. Like,
Oh, no. Piper's cool. I mean, I don't like what he says about the ladies.
not
but,
about
you
the
know.
ladies. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or his recent tweets about dolphins.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was really weird.
Did you guys see that? Did you guys see-
Someone take his Twitter account from him.
Hey, Barnabas.
Yeah, Barnabas, can you please I'm texting Barnabas. Barnabas, get your dad off Twitter.
Man, we're so Jimmy got his work done, and we have time to record a podcast here, and so we're gonna talk about. We've got a few emails. Right? We got a number of emails about membership and the limitations of membership, and who can do what when they're members, and what do you do if they don't join, and all of that. And so we want to address 3 emails that we got in, and so Jimmy's going to kick us off.
So it's kind of like a mailbag, except it's all going to be around one subject. So here's one. Baptism and membership. So Adam writes this. That's a long email. Hold on.
Skim it.
All right. Hi, Jimmy and Joe. See, Jimmy first. Question for you. I just listened to your episode with Dr. Mason. Great stuff. I have a question regarding baptism and membership and wanted your take. I understand the theological and ecclesiastic reasons for requiring persons who received infant baptism to receive believer's baptism when joining a Baptist church. Dr. Mason did a great job addressing this. Here's a related scenario. An adult comes to faith in a church tradition that sprinkles or pours instead of immersion and then receives that particular mode of baptism as an act of obedience to Christ's command. At some point in the future, they wish to join a Baptist church that immerses and requires believers immersion for membership. What are the doctrinal and devotional implications of requiring immersion of this believer in this particular case? Have you faced this circumstance? And if so, how did you counsel the believer? I know a small minority of Baptist churches that do not require that person to be immersed in order to become a member, but it seems to me this creates issues when that person is a deacon or elder candidate and has not been immersed. Love what you guys are doing. Keep it up. Fofo, you're the best. Adam.
I don't think the last part's in there, but okay.
That's not in there. No,
so the issue is still the same fundamentally, because what we're talking about is what is baptism?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The issue is the same in terms of whether an infant is sprinkled or
an adult?
A believer is sprinkled as an adult. The issue is the same because what we're talking about is what makes baptism baptism.
Okay.
So historically, the Baptists would say that a baptism is the immersion of a believer in water as he or she confesses faith in Christ.
Correct.
This is done in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit.
Yes.
Mode matters for the Baptist. Mode matters. For Presbyterians, those who pour or sprinkle, mode is not as important. You can do any of those modes. It's really one of expediency. So what it comes down to for the Baptist is, number one, you must be one who confesses Christ.
Yes.
And number two, you must be immersed in water in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. That person who was sprinkled as an adult has not been baptized. Not properly, not biblically. It was something. It was a sprinkling. It was a ritual. It was something important to them.
Cute.
Maybe, but it's definitely not for the Baptist. That's not baptism. And so most Baptist churches historically would say, listen, for you to be a member here, you need to have been baptized
by immersion.
Yeah, you need, and that's really what baptism means, right? It's to be immersed in water. And so you haven't been baptized. You need to go through that in order to be a member here. Now, here's the thing. All Protestants, Orthodox Protestants, make that same point. You cannot be a member here unless you are baptized. Presbyterians make that argument. Lutherans make that argument. Baptists make that argument. The only difference is how we define baptism.
Yeah, the mode of it, yeah.
Right. So we're saying baptism is, as a believer, immersed. They're saying, well, no, it doesn't have to be as a believer. You could be the child of a believing parent who was sprinkled, and by that, you are included into the covenant community. So we're holding to the same principle, but we are not carrying out the same practice because of how we define it. So most Baptist churches would say that guy needs to be not rebaptized because he hasn't been baptized. He needs to be baptized in order to become a member. Then that is our position here at Redeemer.
Correct. And so the second part of it is, I know a small minority of Baptist churches that do not require that person to be immersed in order to become a member, but it seems to me this creates issues when that person is a deacon or elder candidate. And I agree with that.
Totally. Now, here's the thing. I'm much more along personally. This is not the position of Redeemer Fellowship.
Here we go. You're bringing Bunyan, aren't you?
Oh, I love my Bunyan.
You're bringing Bunyan.
Bunyan.
Are you impressed that I knew where you're going?
Of course not. You're my homie. You know what I'm thinking.
Well, I taught you about Bunyan. That's why. Continue.
You taught me about Paul Bunyan, not John Bunyan. The Blue Ox. Yeah, you taught me about Paul Bunyan. I taught you about John Bunyan. So John Bunyan was this guy that had a wicked mustache and long red hair. So you know he was a headbanger back in the day in the 1600s.
Oh, was he?
Love John Bunyan. John Bunyan, in fact, a lot of Baptists don't like John Bunyan because he believed that differences in our view on baptism should not be a bar or a hindrance to our communion together. And so for Bunyan, what he would say is, listen, if I've got my church going and we're credo, we're only going to baptize believers by immersion.
Yes.
But if you come to my church and you want to join with us and you've been sprinkled as a baby, you have not been immersed as a believer, and you believe that way, but you want to fellowship with us, you can come to our communion table and you can join our church. Our difference in that theology should not bar you from our fellowship.
But would it bar them, though, from leadership?
Yet now, I don't know where Bunyan would stand on that, but so let's just say this. I like Bunyan's approach there, personally.
Yeah, okay.
Because we allow non-Calvinists to be members. They don't have to be. You don't have to be a Calvinist. You can disagree on that doctrine.
Yeah, we allow egalitarians.
Right. You can be as long. Listen, you can't be a jerk. You can't be a
there's
divisive
only room for
person,
one jerk here,
and that's me. Now, here's the thing. You could be a reformed guy and be a divisive guy.
Divisive, yeah. And then we don't want you.
And if you were divisive, then
Divisive,
you'd be out.
yeah.
Divisive. You would be out, or you'd be under discipline or something like that.
Yeah.
So the point is that we allow for differences in theology. And personally, I'm not worried about a Baptist church that says, hey, we are Baptist theologically, convictionally, but like Bunyan, we're going to allow people who differ in their view of baptism to become members here. But I agree with what the brother is saying. That person cannot serve in leadership because our teaching, our doctrine, must be uniform confessionally.
But are you going to keep track of that? Like, are you going to keep? Of
course.
Well, I'm just trying to say. Let's just say, okay, scenario-wise, okay?
Okay, scenario-wise.
Scenario-wise. So you allow a member or someone to become a member that was sprinkled. Mm-hmm. You die off. You move on. Someone else comes in. How are they to know that they were sprinkled and not, by immersion? And then they're like, hey, this person's got some giftings.
Now, I know Jimmy is asking this for the sake of the listeners, not because he doesn't know, because Jimmy knows how we run here at Redeemer.
Yep.
So let's explain. I want to explain to you, like, it's not about the pastor. It's not about the lead guy. The leadership, the way it's formed and developed at our church and the way it should be at any church is that if someone is going to begin to be looked at for leadership possibilities, there are many things that have to be investigated and checked out. One of the most important ones is their doctrine.
Yeah.
What do they believe about the ordinances? What are the, more specifically?
Yeah, they write a cis theo, which I'm finding out I maybe not had to write.
Yeah, you did have to write it.
I maybe not had to write it.
You had to write it.
Maybe not.
No, you definitely had to write it.
Anyways,
one elder didn't know that was a new edition.
No, I'm gonna.
Wasn't that a boy band new edition?
I don't know.
Google it.
No, I'm not Googling.
Google it. You know all the boy band stuff.
I know all the good ones.
I think New Edition was a boy band.
No,
so here's the thing. Nobody cares about that. But when Brian came on as an elder, all he had to do was write like a little piddly paper. And now we require our guys to write a cis theo. Hey, I had to write a cis theo.
What, to be an elder here?
No, to be ordained.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Was New Edition a band?
How R&B's infamous boy band became. Yep, you're right. It's a New Edition story.
Look at that. I know my music.
It's Ralph
Ralph Macchio? That doesn't make any sense.
Ralph Tresvant, Johnny Gill, Mike Bilvins, Ronnie Devo, Ricky
Johnny
Bell.
Gill?
It says, Ricky. I said Ricky Bell. Oh, there is Johnny Gill. Yep,
John Gill was one of the great Baptist theologians.
Ricky Bell and Bobby Brown.
Bobby Brown? Was he a New Edition?
There's a person named Bobby Brown in here.
I bet that's Bobby Brown.
Anyways,
wow.
continue.
That guy likes crack. Anyway. What were we talking about? I don't know what we were talking about.
Okay, we're talking about how elders.
So I agree with this guy. You can't let a person who disagrees on the ordinances to become a leader in the church.
Yes.
Of course not. We don't even allow people to lead community groups or to teach our children if they can't affirm what is in our statement of faith.
Yes.
And that's the abstract of principles. So there you go. So yeah, I think you're right. I think there are problems. Here's the thing. There's problems either way. About like who do you admit as members and who do you allow to communion table. We're open communion, but our membership you have to be baptized by immersion. And I'm happy with that. I'm okay with that. But on a preferential level, I would also be comfortable saying we can open up the membership, but we don't.
No.
And I'm not mad about that.
No.
The 2018 Doctrine and Devotion Conference is just around the corner, but there's still time to register.
It's going to be bigger than last year, and that's thanks to our 7 sponsors.
We have 7?
7? Oh, yes, we big time now.
That's a holy number.
B&H Academic, who put out the Spurgeon Study Bible. There's Moody Publishers, who put out your 3 books. We got Logos Bible Software. We got Missionaware. We got Legacy Dads. It's all going to be cool. Great.
Yeah, and we also have some amazing coffee that's roasted locally here by Fresh Ground Roast. And the coffee is brought to you by Crossway Publishers and Soldiers of Christ Prison Ministries, led by Scott Kalis out of Redeemer Fellowship. This is a ministry where Scott disciples men who are incarcerated, helping them to become better followers of Christ and better dads as they exit the prison system.
So you do not want to miss out on this. go to drdevotion.com and register now. All right, Christine Anderson. She asked this, is a worship team and membership.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, well, she says, hey, Joe and Foe.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for your great podcast.
It is great.
It is great.
You're welcome.
I enjoy a heart helping of theology and discussion with a appetizer of some great banter. Okay. So thanks for second it up.
Hey, girl.
Thanks for second it up.
Wait, what?
That's what it says. I'm just reading it.
Okay, I like the effort that you're putting into this, but I think Jimmy and I got lost right there.
Okay. I was wondering about some things that have to do with membership. Mm-hmm. Should a person need to be a member of the church before serving on the worship team? If not, how does this affect their role in leading people to worship? And if so, does this make it an exclusive thing that requires a certain place of, quote, holiness before allowing them to be part of the church? Thanks again for your great work, Chris.
Hey, Chris. You know, that question was like...
it's actually a really good question.
It's a really good question. In fact, it reminds me of like a delicate morsel. Like, it reminds me of like an aperitif.
What?
You know, like a little sweet liqueur that you would get before dinner or maybe after dinner.
No, say that again. How did you pronounce that?
Aperitif.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what an aperitif is, do you?
No, I do know.
Yeah, it's a drink.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's not usually before dinner.
It's after dinner. Yeah, I caught myself.
No, it's actually usually around 2:00.
No, but people have it after dinner.
No, it's actually a before dinner drink.
Yeah, it's like a sweet liqueur. Yeah.
In Italy. All right, never mind.
We're not talking about in Italy. I'm trying to bust her chops here. Will you let me bust her chops?
No, not when you're dumb internationally.
Okay, well, I don't international, bro. Okay?
Yeah, no, you do not.
All right, so
Michelle loves the aperitif.
Really, really good question. So yeah, I'll tell you what. Our view, our practice here at Redeemer is for you to serve on a worship band, because we have bands here. You must be a believer who is walking with Jesus,
of course,
and who is a member.
Yeah.
That's how we do it. Now, we actually prayed long and discussed long and thought hard about this issue.
Yeah. What was the holdup, I guess? Because you're saying you did a long time processing.
Well, because what you're doing, you're implementing a policy, right?
Okay.
And you're implementing a policy that isn't like super cut and dry in Scripture. You got to think it out, pros and cons. And the primary reason it took us a while to think through this and to land where we landed is because in our first church plant, we were a small Baptist church, 25 people on Sunday and maybe 30 going to 40. And at one point we had this dude come in who was not a believer, and he was there every Sunday and seeking the Lord, praying and God was doing great things in his life, but he was not yet a believer. And he asked, do you think I could play with the team? He says, and this guy's like a professional musician. Mm-hmm. He's like, I only ever play for audiences. I only ever play for myself. I've never done anything for God, and I feel like this might be a way for me to try to do something different here. And because of where he was, and because of his position, like spiritually,
and because you loved Rob, yeah,
it wasn't Rob. Rob's one of our deacons. We thought, let's put him in there because we actually believed God could use this to continue to draw him as he sees that even this.
So you were doing like a form of like flirt to convert.
A little bit.
You were flirting to convert.
A little flirt to convert there.
Okay.
And I don't think that's the best policy or practice. That's just that's what we did in our early stages of a.
Now, hold on. Now, I want to ask a pointed question. Mm-hmm. Was part of it out of necessity?
No.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to ask because some people do it out of necessity.
Most people do it out of necessity. Yes.
Yeah. But you are much more righteous. You were doing it out of a love for that individual.
I'm self-righteous. I'm so righteous. I do it myself. So anyways, we understood how in that one case we did it. We don't regret doing that, but we would not do that now.
No.
And the reason that we don't do it is because the way that we serve one another and the way that we serve at Redeemer is multifaceted, it's varied, and there are some things that we do that we would only want a committed member involved in who is walking with the Lord, but there might be other things where it's not as necessary to have a member in that role. So, for example, if somebody is here and they're regular and they are not a member, but they're coming and they love Redeemer and they're positive, there are things that they can do if they say, I'd like to serve.
Yeah.
we're encouraging them the whole time. Hey, come to a membership class.
Absolutely, yeah.
I want you to come to a membership class. Oh, you want to serve? Well, as a non-member, here's what you can do. We talk a lot about membership here, so this is not a surprise to them.
No.
And so they know, like, oh, well, you can work in the coffee bar.
Yep.
You can work as a greeter at the door.
Yeah, you can help out in children's ministry as a helper, but not a teacher.
That's right. So again, that is background checks. We do the whole
just
thing
like everybody.
there.
Yep.
So we have some limited roles for non-members who want to serve, and we allow them to do that. But for teaching, for heavy responsibility, you must be a member. And we view what is happening on stage, I hate that word, but what is happening on stage as a leading out, right? We are leading the people of God to encounter Christ. And so we believe that everyone up there ought to be worshiping Christ. They ought to be pointing us to the one that they confess. And so we only allow members who are in good standing, walking with Jesus, to serve on one of those bands.
And I think to answer your question, Christine.
Didn't I just answer her question?
No, you did, but you kind of did it roundabout. But to answer a section of your question, you said if it is exclusive, and if so, does this make it an exclusive thing that requires a certain place of, quote, holiness before allowing them to be part of the church? So I think that there's an issue here, or there's maybe a confusion in the way you're wording this. I think what we're not saying that the person themselves is somehow perfect and they're now allowed to be on the worship team. What we are saying, though, is that they're first part of the church. I think it's really important.
Yes.
That they're committed, that they're part of the body, as Joe's been talking about. And when you say holiness, they're being set apart. They're committed to this, that God has gifted them in this regard, and they want to serve God's people and lead them in worship.
100%. Yeah, they have to have Christ as Lord and the church as their family.
That's it.
Then they can serve. So yeah, it's not, is there a certain measure of holiness? Though I would say that if a member wants to serve in that capacity and they are living an unrepentant life and they're, getting drunk every weekend, we're not going to allow them to serve in that capacity. We're going to be walking them through their sin issue and helping to help them really move beyond their struggle and into a life of godly faithfulness. So I think that I get why some people might feel that way, that, well, if you're not, I guess you must be super holy to be on the stage. No. You've got to know Jesus, and you've got to be committed to this church before you're going to serve in that role. That's how we view it.
Last question. This is from Burn.
Burn notice.
No, burn. It's B-E-R-N.
Turn or burn.
No, B-E-R-N.
Oh, burn. Like feel the burn.
Hey, J&J, and what's implied there is on first.
Okay, I'm sure.
Thanks for the podcast. I've conditioned myself to listen through the banter.
Wow, very big of you.
Thank you, Burn.
Thanks, Bernard.
I'd like to hear you guys cover the topic of dealing with regular attendees who refuse to become members of the church. My situation is a church revitalization project in London, UK. Keep serving the Lord, Burn. All right, Burn.
Hey, Burn. Listen, man.
Burn.
I don't like that backhanded compliment about the.
That's the British way. Oh, stop it.
You know how I feel about the Brits?
Oh, don't
get off my lawn. We said to the Brits,
first of all,
get off my lawn.
You say the same thing about Canadians.
No, they're not in our. They're in
our backyard.
Yeah. Canadians got some good stuff going on right now. It's not too bad. All right, so listen. Thank you, Bernd, for the question.
It's a great really question because there's a lot of people that struggle with this,
and we love what you're doing. And man, London, that's some hard soil. We know that you've got to love the Lord, and you've got to love people to be out there serving that capacity. And
hey, Bernd, hit me up, man, because I travel that way often.
Yeah, Jimmy will buy you dinner.
Actually, I would.
Yeah, totally.
Absolutely, I would.
In fact, anybody listening, if Jimmy is ever around you, he will buy you dinner. Just hit him up.
It depends. Either
jf@redeemerfellowship.org. So anyway, we love that you're doing revitalization too. That is hard work, man.
Oh, yeah.
That is way harder than planting. I think that's really hard.
I agree. I agree.
So people are resistant to membership for a lot of different reasons, right? Yeah. What are some reasons that you've found that people are slow to join the church?
They have an improper understanding or unclear understanding of what membership is.
Right. They just don't know.
They don't know.
Maybe a little misguided. Some people view it as like a gym membership. They're like, well, why do I, don't really
what's the
care.
point?
Yeah.
And, I think actually something Pastor Brian brought up once, and I think he's right, is our culture today is not about like clubs or memberships really anymore, right? Like back in the day, you joined the Moose Lodge or you joined some other society and you understood the value of membership. But today, people really don't understand that.
Yeah, and if there is any kind of membership, it's very, very tailored. It's very unique. It's a very subculture, very unique. Like, I'm a member.
Very non-committal. Like I'm part of the Facebook scene, or I'm part of whatever.
Any club that you opt in of, you can opt out of immediately.
That's it. And that's the part.
Yeah,
people don't
that's
understand what what a level of commitment entails.
Right. And a lot of them don't understand membership because it's just like even if they're Christian and they've been Christian for a while, their churches
what's the point?
Didn't do it.
Or I've been a Christian for so long. Are you telling me I'm not really a member? I've been going here since the beginning.
Right, and that's what a lot of people want to know. Like, well, I'm here. Mm-hmm. What difference is it going to make if I'm a member?
Yeah,
I hear you're preaching. I'm in a small group.
Yeah, I tithe.
I have friends. I'm tithing. Like, what's the difference if I join or if I don't join? So we understand that, and even here at Redeemer, what we have found is that most people, not all, but most people are slow to join.
Yeah, I agree.
And we have people that love the church and they have every intention of joining, and it still takes them a year to get their paperwork in.
Yeah. Steve McCoy.
Okay, no, it only took Steve a couple months.
Steve McCoy.
But, it took other people, like the Mons.
Oh, don't call them out. They listen.
I would never call Jennifer Mon and Gary Mon out.
Stop it. They listen. Steve at least doesn't listen.
So no, Steve doesn't listen.
Steve don't listen.
The Mons are like two of my favorite people and awesome Christians.
Well, after me.
No, way before you. And but they were just people just are slow to get in. It's paperwork. It's something to do. Like, so before we go on, why don't we just talk a little bit about how membership works here? How does somebody become a member at Redeemer? What's the first thing they got to do?
Well, first thing they have to do is go to the membership orientation class.
All right. So it's a membership class. We call it orientation because it's not just for membership. If you want to be a member, you got to take the class. But if you just want to learn about Redeemer, get oriented. 4 hours.
Get oriented, yeah.
Yep. And then you get to learn all about Redeemer, what we're all about, what we do.
Mission, vision, yep.
You covered Reformed theology. We cover all that stuff.
Yep.
So church discipline, we cover everything. Mm-hmm. So you got to do that. Second thing they got to do, do you know what it is? Do you remember?
Fill out the paperwork and turn it in.
All right. So the questionnaire, there's like 30 questions.
Yep.
Got to fill it out.
Testimony kind of on there.
Got to write how you came to Christ or,
You got to articulate the gospel.
Got to articulate the gospel. Yep. Got to do all that stuff.
All that.
Turn that in. Then what's the next step?
A elder interview with
That's
Pat.
Right. Pastor Pat will do the interview.
I think we did it with you.
Oh, yeah. I used to do some of them.
You used to not anymore?
Yeah, I don't do that anymore. So I teach the class, though. I teach every class. Mm-hmm. But I don't do the interviews.
Pat did it with Pat. I don't know who it did.
So Pat will do the interview, and that interview basically is to answer any final questions that they might have or to clarify anything that might have been unclear on the paperwork.
Yep.
Then the elders discuss, make sure we're all on the same page.
Yep.
And then at the next members meeting, we recommend these people to the congregation that we have interviewed, and the church then votes by affirmation.
Yeah. And 99.9%.
You know what? We've almost never had anyone object to bringing in a member.
Almost never.
One time.
Only one time.
One time, one person did say no
to Steve McCoy.
It was Steve McCoy. Yeah. Steve McCoy.
It wasn't Steve that said no.
No.
It was someone saying no to Steve.
Yeah. That's.
And they would go, no, hold on. I'm saying no to Steve. Yes to Molly.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Of course. We all understood that. Yeah, but
thanks, Travell.
He still got in. Mm-hmm. So, that's how you know you're loved. If somebody at your church can bust your chops while you're getting voted in, you're loved.
Yep.
That's
You loved.
Okay, so there are some people, though, who will not join the church.
Yeah.
Different reasons for that. Sometimes they just can't get past the idea of church membership. They don't find it to be biblical. We've already covered this before. We're not going to get into that again. We'll link to our episode on membership in the show notes.
Yep, that's good.
But there definitely are people that won't join. We have people here who have such a disagreement with us on baptism that they're not going to join.
Yeah.
And they've been here for years.
Yeah.
We're
okay with that.
We love them.
Yeah.
They love us. So they're not members, but they're plugged in.
But there's no issues, no problems, no nothing.
But there is still a difference, though. And the difference is...
Yeah, what's the difference, Joe? How are they less holy than us?
Well, they're not less holy. They just don't get the perks.
Oh, what are the...
they don't get the members' benefits.
Oh, what are the member benefits of Redeemer Fellowship? I want to hear this one.
Okay, so in all honesty, as elders, we have made a covenant commitment to serve our members.
Yeah.
In very specific ways. And so our members are going to get priority in our care versus those who are here and are not members by virtue of the covenant.
So if you're thinking of like an airline, our members are boarding group 1.
No, it's above that. It's Premier Access.
No,
I
get Premier Access.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's above that.
No, Premier Access is boarding group 2.
No.
Continue.
What's boarding 1?
First class.
Oh, yeah, so we're first class. But we're at the front of the line of first class is what I'm saying. I've never been in first class, so I don't know.
Oh, it's fun.
I've seen first class because I've seen Jimmy sit down in first class while I go all the way to the back of steerage and sit down. That's how I've seen first class.
It makes me so happy.
Bye, Jimmy. Bye. Have fun. Was that a Sunday? What are you eating over there?
Bye, Felicia.
Yeah, that's what I get. It's awesome. So what were we talking about?
Member benefits, yeah.
So the benefits are, number one, we are committed to you by oath. We're saying, like, you are a member.
Yep.
We are going to hold each other accountable.
Yep.
And you are just much more likely to be contacted by us for no other reason than to say, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
What's going on? Because we have to commit ourselves to the membership.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
And we regularly pray for our members.
Yes. So there's more of an investment on the part of the elders in those people who are members. It doesn't mean that we neglect people who aren't members. We're actively praying for them and serving them as well. But when it comes to priority, we have to give it to those people that have covenanted with us. And then that's just a general way in which it's
And if you're a member, you could come under church discipline. I mean, that's a benefit.
Yeah, it's so fun. Mm-hmm. Hey, guys, you know what you're missing in your life right now?
Some church discipline. But hold on, though. I say it jokingly. I understand that. But the reality of it, though, is there's such a love there in that. And we kind of discussed that before. Mm-hmm. And I've shared that I've heard from other members that have gone through the discipline process of their appreciation for the elders and how much the elders loved them, cared for them, to walk them through the discipline process.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it's I think there are some benefits. But in general, how do you deal with people who don't want to become members of the church? My advice would be patient.
Yeah, don't force them.
You can't do it, right? So say, hey, this is really important. We would love for you to join. Here's how it works. If you find that they have a theological objection, ultimately, you're going to have to let it go.
Oh, yeah.
And then move on. And who knows what will happen in time.
Oh, yeah.
The people who are not members here, whether that's been for a long period of time or a short period of time, they know that we love them. We know that they love us. We're all good. It's fine. It's fine. But we are constantly calling for people to join, to go through the process, and hopefully they see that we love them and we really want to serve them at as high of a level as possible. So I would say, be patient, continue to teach, continue to call for it, and let the Lord just work. If you're preaching the word, if you're taking good care of the flock, I think people are going to see the value of it, and ultimately they're going to want to join. But yeah, you're going to have to be patient, especially with something like this. It's so weird today. Church membership. Because what are the examples that we have of membership? Gym membership, in and out, country club membership. Who wants to be a part of that?
And sometimes church membership gone wrong.
Yeah,
abusive leadership. Yep.
They've been burned, man.
Yeah, burn feels the burn.
Hey, burn. How's that burn? I mean, seriously, we've got authoritarian churches that have shunned people.
Yes.
Kicked people out of their churches for like inappropriate reasons. There's lots of things that have happened that give people pause before they join a church. So I get that. Be patient. Just be patient with people. It's not a problem.
We'd love to hear your thoughts. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter.
I don't really care.
Doc and Devo, or on Facebook /Doctrine and Devotion. You can head to the website, drdevotion.com. There you can contact us. You can sign up for the email blast or hit up the store and sign up for the 2018 Doctrine and Devotion Conference on the Spirit and the Church.
That's going to be a good conference. I'm going.
Oh. You're speaking.
Yeah, but I'm not getting paid, so I feel like I'm going.
Stop it. Fresh Pod every Monday and Thursday blog.
Usually I get paid to speak at a conference.
Not at our own.
Not at our own conference.
Of course not.
It's like, going to go.
No, stop it. We have a budget. We're paying.
I know.
Okay. Well,
and what am I going to... Yeah. Do I even get a t-shirt?
No.
See, I don't even get a
Fresh
t-shirt.
Pod every Monday and Thursday blog posts on Wednesdays, video content during the week.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Later. Feel the burn.